I'm here with the ECU Dance head coach, Kristen Jeffries. Thank you for joining me this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So if you can kind of take me through your season first from start to finish.
Sure. So our season is fairly long. We have auditions in April of every year. And then the team has a couple months off in the summer, but then we come back typically in July and prepare to go to camp. So we go to camp for several days, and which is a great experience. We get to be with other teams and just really get a good start to the year. When we return, we are part of the marching band. So we go to band camp with them here on campus and then start with football season. So football season goes through November, December, if we go postseason. In November, basketball season starts. So we have a little bit of an overlap. November tends to be a very busy month.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, during that time, we start preparing for nationals. After December, we continue with basketball season. We do perform at all home men's and women's basketball games, which ends up being quite a lot of games, about 30 or so games. And then once that season ends, we do postseason with basketball, but really start focusing on preparing for nationals, which happens in April. And then we start all over again with auditions for the following year. So it is very much a long season, a lot of time and dedication from the student athletes on the team. But that's, in a nutshell, a quick synopsis of our season.
Will you tell me what you think your team learned from this season, what you think they took from it?
Sure. This season was different in a lot of ways. We had 8 freshmen on our team out of a team of 19, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
So just adjusting to having so many new people on the team. Certainly had some great leadership. However, with the last 2 seasons not being normal, we didn't have many on the team that had what we would consider a normal season. Last year, we only performed at 5 basketball games.
Wow.
And it was not performing like we normally would. We were in the stands and just didn't really have that full experience. So just having a very young team and kind of learning how to get back into it. Even when we started the season in the fall, we were still limited in what we were doing and how we were approaching practices and still having people in and out with our COVID protocols.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a learning experience for sure. Definitely got back a little bit to normal when we came back in the spring semester in January and February. But really just learned a lot about having a young team and trying to show them, what it means to be a member of the dance team and the time commitment, just readjusting really to that full schedule.
Yeah.
For sure.
How exciting was it to come back to kind of the new normal, what we're accepting as the normal? How exciting was it for the girls and you, really?
Sure. It was great. It really was, and I kept reminding them, COVID's still here. We still have those protocols in place. So we couldn't get too comfortable because we never knew when something might happen. It's different than somebody having the flu or something like that, where they're just out for a few days. With COVID protocols, you still could affect others on the team. So, but super exciting to get back to normal a little bit and being able to be in person at so many events and not just games. We do a lot of community appearances.
Mm-hmm.
We have a junior dance team and junior clinics that we do. Our tryout clinic last year was virtual and we were able to do that in person this year. So just getting girls on campus and getting excited about trying out for the team and just so many things that we all took for granted in the past, but able to get those things back this year. And I think just being in front of people and performing, I think was the best part for the girls on the team to be able to do that again.
What is your girls' favorite sport to perform at? Is it now? I will say at the basketball games, seeing their halftime dance, always. I love that part.
Thanks for saying that. There's positives to both. They love being on the football field. I mean, pregame, I think they would all say is probably their favorite thing.
Yeah.
To have that experience at the beginning of the game. Basketball just brings such a different, you're so much closer to your audience that I think they love that about basketball. A few years ago, we started adding a timeout dance towards the boneyard during football during the third quarter. And they love that. Most of the time we do hip hop because that's what the students want to see. But that part of the game and pregame, they love a lot. But they love basketball too. So I think, it's hard to answer that question because there's different aspects of both that I think they really, really enjoy. Daytona is an experience that it's hard to describe. You just have to experience it. But it is a really cool experience. We worked really hard. I mentioned earlier about having 8 freshmen on the team. We were very fortunate to be able to go to Daytona last year and compete in person. But the experience last year was nothing like a true experience at nationals. They had a virtual division and an in-person division. So really half the amount of people were there and it just was different.
Right.
The category that we compete in was fairly the same in person last year, which was really nice. But the experience last year wasn't nearly what it was this year and what it had been in the past. So certainly there are a lot of teams in our same position as far as experience on the floor and just not having that experience from the previous years because of COVID. So, the expectation was to get out there and have that experience down there and see what it was like. We were really fortunate to be able to watch some other teams. So, the freshmen and the ones that just hadn't had that experience before on the nationals floor got to see a lot of other teams, which was a really great experience.
Yeah.
Every year we learn a lot. And every year we feel like, yes, we've prepared as much as we can. And, the standard and the bar is just raised every year. So, I mentioned earlier, we start learning choreography in November. And then with basketball season, it's so busy. We just don't really get to work as much as we'd like until we really get back in January. But just conditioning and getting as many reps in as we can. It's such a different experience than performing at a halftime, no matter if it's basketball or football. Just the endurance and the stamina that's required, the skill level, the technical skills that are required. You just can't replicate it except for doing that 2-minute routine over and over and over. Is the best preparation for sure. So, next year, just looking to compete again and be competitive against those other Division 1A teams is really what we're looking forward to, just getting back down there. And every team brings more challenging skills every year, so it's really cool to go down there and see and just watch what other teams are doing. It's great the way that the sport has really transformed and developed over the years. Our tryouts are actually next weekend. They're typically the end of April. So my expectations are that, the dancers are required to have certain technical skills, a minimum technique requirements. And then I like to have a versatile dancer, somebody that can do all 3 styles that we compete in. So pom, jazz, and hip hop are something that we perform all throughout the year. So somebody that's versatile in all of those areas. Our season is jam-packed. We move very quickly. So we learn a routine, we put it together, and we get out there on the floor and do it, or on the field. So that's why I do a one-day tryout. And I tell people, I want you to come in. I want to see how quickly you can learn something and how quickly you can perform it in front of the judges. I do have outside judges that come in every year that look at the technical elements, their performance quality, and really looking for somebody that is ready to be in the uniform and exemplifies what we're looking for. I also have a short interview process during the day of tryouts. I mentioned this before, but some of the appearances and some of the things we do have nothing to do with dance. We do
Right.
things in the community for the Pirate Club, for the Alumni Association, just for everybody in the community. And I want somebody that can go out there and represent the university, represent our team, carry on a conversation, and represent us well. So I'm looking for an all-around good person, good dancer that can represent the team well. So tryouts are fast and furious. It's a long day.
Yeah.
Looking for good technical skills, somebody that is versatile, learn choreography quickly, pick up all three styles of material, and just represent us well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to tryouts next weekend.